Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. And today I've got some really special guests, someone that I usually don't have the privilege of talking to, but thankfully we've reached a point where I can say that I am now in conversation with one person who's been very heavy, in favoring India's Valorant Esports. We've got Sukamal from Riot. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being on this. And of course, we've got one of the higher heads of the esports club, Ishaan Arya, here as well, or I'd like to call Captain Arya. Welcome, both of you. Thank you so much for being here. How's your day been?
Well, first of all, thanks, Universe, for having us here. And it's been an amazing journey, right? I'm like since I think the last 2.5 years, all three of us have been in this journey together. And definitely, Ishan and me have a lot more gray hair now. Like after 2 years of trying to do EPC sports
Yeah,
in this
I
country,
think there's
but
more
once
gray on
this
my
ends
head
up,
than the sweatshirt right now.
yeah, I'm joining there as well. I mean, I must say, I mean, like, it's been an amazing journey, and I would not exchange it for anything. The fans, the partners, and just the overall excitement of being in such an amazing place. I think I don't want to change anything over the last 2 years. And like I said, it's just getting started. And so super excited to be here, and thanks for having us here as well.
Thank you so much. And Captain, how has your journey with TC been? You've had a little bit of a, I would say, quieter year, but you guys did drop an
hmm
off-season event, and that was pretty successful as well. How has your year been so far?
It's been quite fantastic. Yes, a little lighter, definitely on the Valorant side of things. But to think where we've come, from hosting the first Valorant tournament in the world, where we had 400 teams
Yeah.
in India take part in it, to multiple LAN events at various scales, multiple official off-season events, and now we're here. So it's quite amazing to see what has it's sort of this is culminated in the hard work the entire team's put in, and just excited to help take Valorant in India to the next step.
Yeah, well, talking
Yeah.
about that, you guys have already taken it, and I don't think people would have missed it by any chance. Behind Sukamal sir, you guys can see there is a logo and a name there. Now, sir, I'm not gonna take it away. Please tell us what is Convergence.
Yeah, like Ishan said, this is an ideal time for us to talk a little bit about how we have converged from 400 plus team events to a six team event, right? And this is exactly what Convergence is. It is Riot's first international Valorant esports event in India, and we're super happy to be partnering with Ishan and team, the wonderful people at TEC, to bring this experience to the Indian fans. And this is something which I have been dreaming about for the last 2 years, to be able to do an event in India where we are leading the entire what do you call uh, part of the event along with our partner, a local partner as well,
Yeah.
and to bring the fans the experience that we would like them to experience. Right, this is Convergence, and this is a one way of us, Riot, saying thank you to all the Indian fans who have supported us since the launch of Valorant over the last 2 years. Well, this is one way for us to come together, celebrate the best Valorant that we have been seeing on screen, but now we're going to watch them on stage perform for us, and hopefully the fans will be able to get them to meet them off stage as well, interact with them, get some real insights and things that they've been asking on on chat, on stream. So now they can meet their favorite athletes on stage as off stage as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like Ishan, can you just tell us a little bit about what is this event about, and how are we going to execute it and make it a memorable event for the Indian Valorant fan in India?
Yeah, Convergence is a big step for all of us, right? It's the first official event from Riot, in the country. We're lucky, to be partnering with them to bring it to life. And then not only is it, just another LAN event, you've got the biggest teams from across the world, right? From different franchise leagues in different regions, right? It's not just, hey, usually where we end up with neighboring countries, other teams in Asia Pacific. But no, we've got teams from all over the world coming down to compete here in India. So it's a fantastic opportunity, to watch the best up close, to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
For us as well, from a TO point of view, just the experience of working with Riot, working with these teams, it really allows us to, showcase what we are capable of, but also learn and improve so much in the process, so that, the next step is something even bigger next year.
Yeah, well, I hope for the same as well. But I do want to ask you, Sukamal sir, how did Convergence, how did the idea come about? Like, where did it begin? Where did it originate?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. All right, so it started off with a little bit of, let's say, soul searching for all of us at Riot, especially in the ABAC team, right? We looked at the entire spate of, let's say, okay, so the first thing that we have to understand is that, like, our premier events, which is Masters, Champs, and even Ascension, right? So they're like, very limited number, and the demand for it is across the world. So every
Yeah.
city wants to host, every country wants to have those events in their country. And like, India definitely is a big country. We have a lot of players in this region. We have a lot of fan base, but we are also one of the untested big markets, right? So we are not like Japan where there's viewership, there's like a lot of players, but at the same time they have a long history of hosting really big events, especially in esports, right? Same for Korea as well, from China. Let's say you a lot of Western European countries, even the Americas and Brazil as well. They have had this experience, right?
Yeah.
So we had to start somewhere, right? And of course, our initial target was let's look at Ascension. And for me, it was like, Ascension happens once a year. I mean, like, I don't want to wait till next year or maybe next to next year as well. So how about like doing something which has absolutely never been done before and has no history, so that puts a little bit of less pressure on us, first of all. And secondly, it also fulfills all the needs of what we want to achieve, right? We want to bring an international event to India, get our teams who play in the international leagues, right, across the Pacific, EMEA, as well as Americas to explore and to get introduced to a new fan base, right? So
Yeah.
without the pressure of saying, hey, I want to like, for example, if they go to Japan, they have had experience in Japan, right? So they know what they're competing with, and also like fan base, they know that they're going to come and meet. With India, there's absolutely no idea what to expect, and so we wanted to make it a little bit less stressful for teams to come and like look at this fan base and see, hey guys, I'm like, this is one place where there's a massive interest in Valorant esports, and people know you guys, the teams. The only thing that is missing from that experience is the ability to see them perform for them, at the same time being able to like, let's say, hey, interact with them and really get to live out that fan moment, right? And
Uh-huh.
with that objective, we said like, that this is the right time for us to look at a new set of IP or a new way of doing a Valorant event. And of course, we zoned in down saying, hey, what is the possibility or what is it that we can do within like 3 months? Because literally, like, from idea till while we are talking right now, I'm assuming that people have already read the press release. It's literally been just 2 to 3 months. And this is where I think
And many
Ishaan has
sleepless
been
nights,
many sleepless nights, and they
and
have
many
really
more to come.
stepped up. We're just getting started. We still have like 3 more weeks to go before
Yeah.
the event kicks off.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy, right? Right from the time of, let's say, finding a right partner, figuring out what's the best plan, and also scrambling to find a venue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let Ishaan speak a little bit about the venue as well. But overall, I mean, like, no, so we are quite happy that we were able to finish all the process of saying, like, where are we going to do it? What are we going to do it with? And who's going to execute it for us together with us? I'm like quite really fast. And so we have, by the way, I'm like, so I'm going to drop a little bit of reveal. I'm sure it's not reveal anymore, but we have teams playing from Pacific, EMEA, and Americas. So, like, of course, like Pacific is going to be represented by our home team, at least from India's perspective, it's Global Esports, and they'll be joined by Genji as well.
Ooh.
And from EMEA, it's good. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. EMEA is going to be joined by an old favorite returning to India or returning back to India, which is Vitality.
Right.
And from Americas, we have Furia joining us as well, right? And by the way, for all the people who love Turkish food, we have FUT joining us on the server as well. So it's going to be a massive, let's say, both. We looked at very carefully, right? So the teams that we wanted to bring to the mix are teams that are going to be like, competitive and like, have proven themselves on multiple stages. And at the same time, they have never played with each other, right? In
Yeah.
some
Mhm.
ways or the other. So we wanted to like see new matchups and also give teams an opportunity to like to expose themselves to a new fan base, but at the same time get to see some new matchups which we have not seen anywhere on Masters, Champs, or even within their own leagues. We have not seen them play against each other, and so this was the thought behind Convergence. right from day one when we said like, hey, how do we make India on the map so that we can open up this region and our country for bigger events. And like I said, this is just a start, and this is the way that we want our fans to not just experience the VCT, but also support us in our bigger ambitions of saying we want to see masters, we want to see champions in India. And I think this is a very valuable first step that we want to take in this aspect. And I'm super happy to be like doing this with Ishaan and team.
Absolutely. I completely agree. This is something that's of a much bigger scale that we've seen. Anything, I would say, in PC esports in India itself, it's a huge step, given that, we've got multiple teams coming from multiple different regions, which I didn't know myself that Genji and Fury are coming, so this is news to me. Cap, I do want to ask you, as somebody who's been who's been basically, I would say, you're cooking esports for the last 5 years, maybe more than that, probably. And you've been a esports fanatic since you were a kid. How has this event, like when it came to you, what was your reaction? What was your reaction to Sukamal sir coming and saying, okay, you are doing Convergence, the biggest Valorant event India has ever seen? How was your
About
reaction?
time,
More gray hair.
right?
I
It
think more
was
gray
about
hair.
time, right?
Okay.
I was like, how long you gonna make us wait? But no, this has been like you said, culmination of all the efforts we've put in over the past few years, from doing events in India for players and fans in India, to creating online international events where we give Indian teams an opportunity to compete with the best teams in Pacific with our off season last year.
Yeah.
Then we took it one step further and gave the winning team one-on-one coaching sessions with Genji
Yeah,
as well,
absolutely.
right? Because again, these are all opportunities that they don't normally get. And then
True.
now with this year, with the setup of the domestic league, there was a proper circuit for the teams to compete. Now the question was, when Sokol came to us, how do we create something new, something exciting? How do we help make India a global destination for esports athletes, esports organizations, and publishers? And that's where we were like, we've been thinking about this for a long time as TEC, and there's no better game to start with than with Valorant. And that's where, the entire idea of working, putting our independent plans aside and, focusing everything on creating Convergence with Riot sort of came to be. And now we've got some of the biggest names, right, in not just Valorant esports, but as esports brands themselves, with
Absolutely.
Vitality, with Genji. It doesn't matter what game you've been following over the past, I would say nearly 5 to 10 years now, you would, have been seeing these names there. So to be able to bring this experience for fans in India outside of an online event is really monumental.
Yeah.
And I think fans will never really know the kind of mad work that goes behind the scenes to getting this done. And they're not even here yet. And we've been basically on overdrive just to get so many things ready for the event.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a truly special experience for fans to be able to see these players live, and also for these players also, like Sukumal said, they've experienced competing in different regions, in different countries, in different cities. But India's always been like, all right, people from India watch the event. I think Global Esports has the honor of having, I think, one of the top two or top three highest watched matches
Yeah, they do.
from this past year's circuit. So now to sort of help unlock that fan base IRL for these teams, to give them that opportunity to be here on ground in India, to start building their brand, to really see the potential the market has, is something that's really exciting for us to be a part of. And we're super pumped to be working with Riot to bring this to life.
That is
Yeah,
really good to hear. Yes, sir, go on.
and may I just like add, I know the like fans probably know it by now, but like just a TLDR is like it is converging in Bangalore from
Yes.
14th
Yes.
to 17th, 14th to 17th of December, and
Yeah.
the venue is going to be Mount Convention Center.
Yeah.
And we are super excited to put out a great show for you guys. And we will all be there. The entire Riot India team is going to be there. The entire TEC team is going to be there, I hope. Behind the stage, of course. And of course, we will be interacting with the fans, and we will be ensuring that you guys have an amazing time, not just watching the games, but also meeting each other as a community, and just coming together, celebrate esports, celebrate competitive spirit, and also making sure that we put the best foot forward as an entire community from India. And we want to
Yeah.
show everybody that we are the destination, actually, both from let's say viewership perspective, plus also as a community that comes together to support big events. And I mean, we will be there. So I'll be there at least with my team, and hope to see you guys there as well.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really good to know. So you did mention that we've boiled down to 6 teams. Is that how many the number of teams are going to be in this tournament?
That
Yes.
is
So we've
absolutely
we've
correct.
yeah, we've heard Furia, Genji, Global Esports, Vitality. So the remaining two, are there going to be any qualifier teams from India going to be there?
Yeah. So the other aspect of convergence is also that it is aimed at giving people to see teams and and competition that they have never seen before, right? So anyway, I mean so from an off-season perspective, the mandate that we are moving towards is also we are going to target IL teams primarily, because that is where we believe is the pinnacle of sport that people want to watch. And we have absolutely nailed down the teams that we want to see perform for us, right? Saying that, I'm like, no, it is not that we don't value teams from other tiers, but we do have products that are targeting each tier, right? So we have our Challengers League, which is from Nodwin Gaming. So that is an amazing opportunity for teams that are already in tier two. Then we have already announced how Premier is going to be part of the roadmap towards the pro, path to pro, and that is from the game itself. So even people who are just playing from their homes with a bunch of friends, they can level up and ultimately reach as high as masters and champions, or get franchised themselves, right?
Yeah.
So from the perspective side, it was very important for us to lay down saying, hey, which tier are we going to put our products in? And this tier of products of Convergence definitely targets the IL teams and the tier one teams, right? So saying that, I'm like, it's not like no, we don't want to see no, teams from other teams from India to come and perform. We want them to reach IL stage, and then we would be happy to
Yeah.
to put them out and say, guys, it is not just going to be in India. We might even take them to our other events globally and say showcase these teams. And so we just want people to get motivated, people to see where these teams are at, get motivated to be there, right? And that's what we all want to be, and this is where the aim is. And with Convergence also, the outcome that we are expecting is also that fans get to see teams that they've never seen before, and also we get to show why India is such a great place for not just for talent but also as fans, right? And this
Yeah.
is the objective that we want to hit with Convergence. And I think we have made a very careful selection in terms of what teams are we going to invite to the event.
Yeah.
And we have got the support. I mean, so every team was super excited to to work with us to make sure that it was very short
There
form,
were
by the way.
actually even more teams that wanted to be a part of the event, but they had visa appointments or commitments they already made, or just breaks for players, because
Yeah.
given how spread out the
Yeah.
global calendar is, and how players are all from different regions, they get very limited time off, right? So a lot of teams just couldn't fit that in, because this was the first year, because as Sukamal said, all of this was put together in just over 2 months. Nobody even knew that they had to plan for this event, right? So
Yeah.
moving forward, yes, of course, there will probably be an opportunity to see even more teams from different regions compete in Convergence, in year two
Yeah.
and beyond. But it's the interest is there, the excitement is there. It's just unforeseen circumstances and logistical issues kind of prevented a lot of folks from taking part.
Yeah, I mean, it still is. It doesn't discredit what you guys have done so far. The fact that you're still getting teams like Genji, and Furia to come to India. Players who've probably never even come to India before are going to be coming in, like you mentioned, a brand new fan base that they can explore and get to know. And now maybe this overall improves the quality of Indian fans getting to know Valorant a lot more better. They're not just coming to this event as a, like, okay, what, it's just a Valorant tournament, we just go watch. No, it's an international, legitimately huge tournament that people are going to experience for the first time in their lives. And I'm so glad that it's first of all happening in Bangalore. I'm a little selfish like that. I am from Bangalore, and I love that TC is from Bangalore, so I have that kind of thing in me. But before we do move
Yeah,
on to
the Bangalore decision, of course, little bit was
slightly.
was to do with that we are also in Bangalore, but I think more importantly, that we've hosted two very large,
Oh yeah,
successful
exactly. I was just going
Valorant
to
LAN
mention that.
events in the city at this venue, right?
Yeah.
Because that becomes very important. While taking nothing away from uh, other venues and other events around the country. There's not too many places in India where you can safely say, all right, this place is a good venue for a LAN event from the competitive setup point of view, from the fan experience point of view.
Yeah.
And while there's certainly menus better than Manfo around the country, the fact that the time that we had
Mm-hmm.
in terms of bringing this live, figuring out how we're going to make it work at those various venues just wasn't enough. So
Yeah.
we kind of went with something where we know we've delivered a successful both competitive product as well as the fan experience product in the past.
Absolutely.
Fans have shown they're more than willing to come to the venue as well, right? So that really helped us, safely say that yes, for year one, we're confident of delivering a good experience for everyone involved here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not to say we're not open to taking it to other parts of the country moving forward.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
For
and like if the agent of Trevor Noah is watching these, please do reach out to Ishaan and
Yeah.
team. I think they do a much better job at Manfo because it's a little unfair that that the event venue has been criticized so much, but I believe it is also to do with the
Yeah.
way the production team handles it. And I think they should definitely get in
so.
touch with Ishaan. And the second thing that is very interesting, which I'm going to share it with the fans, is basically like, all right. So when we started off, like inviting teams, I was like, okay, guys, what is it that we're inviting these teams to? It's like we are going to give them like $1 million prize pool. We are not going to say, hey, you're going to be competing at a masters level event or a champs level event. It's not even like a international league event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we make them like stand up and take notice? So we said like, oh, let's sell a tour package. So it's like we're going to sell India tourism, right? So it's funny, right? I mean, like, so it is almost like, hey guys, who's the best person who can showcase Bangalore and India in a way which is going to appeal to the tourist side
Mm-hmm.
of every esport team and athlete, right? So we made this entire deck, which was mirroring some of the more like lifestyle and holiday brochures that we have seen, which sells a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to like mimic those in terms of showing, hey, what are the hotspots that you can go to? What is the culture going to be like? What is the food going to be like? Where are you going to stay? You're going to stay in this beautiful resort like hotel
Mm-hmm.
with a nice swimming pool, with a lot of things that you can do to relax, do yoga sessions, etc., etc. You can go and experience food. You can do these walk-in tours. So it almost like now halfway we were like, guys, are we doing an esport event or are we selling a yoga wellness retreat, right? But it worked. I mean, like, so a lot of the questions that would have happened, right? For example, like teams when they look at India, right? So especially teams that are most likely flying from, let's say, as far as Brazil, for them, they don't get to experience India much, and so in their heads, India has, let's say, a lot of issues that they are not familiar with, right? Things
Mm-hmm.
like health, things like infrastructure. So when they see those things that are going to be part of the experience of this event itself, they get confident, saying, "Hey, this is one place we know that we don't have to ask too much because we know that where we're going to stay, what are we going to do, what is the infrastructure that's going to be provided for us. Everything
Yeah.
feels like we are going to this curated wellness, what you call retreat, and we are super excited. So that part of
Then Valorant is
those
just like a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
exactly, it almost seems like, hey, while you do all these things, you can also play Valorant, right?
Yeah.
So that was, I think, very well appreciated. I was laughing at it, like when I was seeing this, I said like, if we remove the first two slides and the last two slides, nobody will know that this is for an esport event. It
Yeah,
almost feels like contact
off-season holiday.
off-season holiday, right? So that pretty much felt like it. So it's super interesting, super exciting, and I'm happy that like we did it this way because this uh, fast-tracked a lot of the conversations because we took
And it
care
was also
of
about,
the things that we
building the excitement, right? We wanted to set this apart from, hey, it's just another off-season event that we have to travel 7 days for, and it's just scrim, videos, play. So we're bringing that whole India experience for the teams, right? So fans can look out for a lot of fun stuff on our socials, on Riot socials, the team socials themselves,
Absolutely.
on their entire India experience. Hopefully, nobody's going to get a bad stomach that's going to ruin the entire trip. But right, it's about making India, an exciting esports destination for all these teams and global brands, so that we can continue to bring these exciting experiences and opportunities for fans and players in India, and of course, outside India, bringing that Indian experience to them.
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
we should definitely do a couple of things, right? First of all, take them to Brahmins for amazing,
oh
like
yes,
idlis and yeah,
absolutely.
and take them to like Indranagar to see what life was before it became chaotic, and definitely make them sit through a traffic jam at
Oh
some point.
yeah, I think
Uh,
that should be number one. I don't think they'll even have to experience it because coming from the airport itself is quite a task, So they'll hopefully go through the first part of India right there. But yeah, speaking